Right, something I did want to talk about is you mentioned the name Sonny, and let's have some positive talk and some great talk about a player that is here, because the Premier League announced yesterday he's joined a very exclusive and illustrious club. I'm going to bring the banner up. He's joined a club with Mane, Henry, Kane, Aguero, Lampard, Rooney, scoring 10 plus goals in the Premier League for a striker. You think no big deal, especially at Tottenham Hotspur. But to do it 8 consecutive seasons in a row is quite the achievement, and especially even considering the poor form he was in last season, it's a very illustrious club he's in, isn't it, Ash?
Yeah, he really is. And he's always been slightly underrated. I was, he came into Spurs and it wasn't like the best start. There were lots of people it was kind of like Brennan Johnson, where a lot of people were like, oh, maybe not. Everyone could see he was quality, but nobody was sure how good he would be. And then sort of he sort of grew into his role along with Kane. And by the time in the last 3-4 years, it was that famous partnership, right, where they'd be assisting each other and stuff. But we don't realize how good he is. Like, 50 assists, 50 goals away from home, 50 goals at home. He scored. I mean, he's just scored every type of goal there is, except for one goal with his head or something like that. It's a ridiculous stat how many goals he has with his head. But apart from that, he's an excellent winger, and he's proven to us in the last match that he can play on the left. All of those detractors who were saying, oh, he can't play on the left, yes, he may make those runs fewer times than he might have earlier, but he knows when to go. His experience also comes into play. So I think that he's just an amazing player, and he's just class, and we need to give him that. I mean, there are a lot of people who are like, oh, Sonny's not world class. And perhaps I agree. He may not be the best in the world, but he's certainly up there in the Premier League. And I'm just happy he's our captain. I think he's a great captain as well. I know there are people who are his detractors, but Sonny always makes me smile. And when Sonny's smiling, I know the club is doing well. So it's just one of those things, it just makes me happy to watch him. And especially him skinning Trippier. That was great.
Oh, yeah, he had a ball on Sunday. But Ian, like I said, last season he probably had his worst season. Still got 10 plus goals in the Premier League on it. Last time when he won the Golden Boot, he had 7 before Christmas. So he's ahead of himself already in that from its best goal return season. It's a magnificent club he's just joined, and he's a magnificent player, isn't he?
I think Son's great. I think he's come on. Take last year out. The season before with Kane was superb.
Yep.
I do think the first 3 or 4 years that Sonny was with us, it was very hit and miss. You got a 9 out of 10 or a 2 out of 10. And you didn't know which Son was going to turn out. He could be absolutely brilliant. And there are other games you didn't even see him. But as he's got old, maybe the last 3 or 4 years, his performances have become much more consistent. You can see why Ange made him captain, because he pulls everybody together. He's just got that sort of personality, which you need. Everybody loves somebody and respects him. Then he will get the best out of them, and he gets the most out of teammates through example. He's not a Roy Keane type screamer, and it's great. Love having him. He's been superb this season, and hopefully he'll beat Haaland to the Golden Boot.
Yeah, I mean, David, when we look at it, his first season he came, there was talk that he wanted to leave. Thank God he didn't. He got stronger and stronger and stronger, and like Ian said, last season, he's come back this season and shown what he's made of. And we've seen the education that he's taken on as a footballer, hasn't he? And as a man, and as a winger, as a striker. And you would have thought after Kane had left, it may have affected his game. Obviously, having your partner there where you got the telepathic understanding, but he's just kicked onto a different gear, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, with Sonny, it's his mentality. Do you know what I mean? He's at a club that he generally wants to be at. You get some players who are at clubs, they can play well and stuff, but you don't really have that feeling that they actually want to be there. Sonny loves us. And when Kane was going, when we heard about that, I didn't have in the back of my head Sonny was going to have an issue. Do you know what I mean? My issue was the fact that, you know what I mean, the injury he had last season and how poor he was. Is he going to kick on from that? Well, he's proved everyone wrong. Do you know what I mean? Players are allowed bad game. I see it all the time on Twitter where a player can do something or not do something and they'll either get applauded or they'll be told that they need to be sold. Sonny, for us, has been one of our most consistent players. I mean, I think his conversion rate this season is like, what, 80%?
Yep.
Right?
He's miles ahead. Miles
and I
ahead
mean,
of
the
anyone.
one close to him is Salah with 57.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Now, you've got to understand, that is insane. He's so clinical, it's unreal. But you got to allow him his overall play. You know what I mean? In a game, he's sometimes going to lose the ball. He's sometimes not going to perform. But with Sonny, you've always got to see that if he gets a chance, he's scoring.
Do you know what? I've got those stats for you. Best finishers amongst Europe top goal scorers since August 2018. And I'll only do the top three, okay? Because this is just insane. In third place, and I can't believe I'm saying, in third place is Lionel Messi with 21.31%. In second place, it's Harry Kane with just 0.2 more of 21.33. And number one, more than double, is Heung-min Son with 44.41. I mean, Ian, that's just simply staggering, isn't it? To be top of that three.
They're great stats. They're great stats. Let's hope we get that for the next 4 years. That'd be brilliant.
Do you know what, Ian? I'll stay with you because the thing I love about the thing that people have to remember with Heung-min Son is people have obviously targeted him, which is totally incorrect and it shouldn't be happening at all. But whenever this man's loyalty or commitment or love towards this club is brought up, like the links to Saudi Arabia or anything, he'll come straight out and say, nope, Tottenham. His dedication and commitment to Tottenham has been exemplary, hasn't it?
I think it's great. He's gone under the radar a lot. You know, you hear a lot in the press about a lot of players with transfers. And you never actually hear, so, you know, Barcelona have come in with a £50 million bid for. You never hear it. So I'm sure there's stuff that goes on behind the scenes. I'm sure clubs have come in and made inquiries and they've never got anywhere. It's superb, you know. Listen, we're fortunate to have him. It was a great buy. You know, it was still 22 million.
Yeah.
In today's market, particularly as well. So no, superb.
What would you value him at now? Sorry.
Say again? Go on,
Dave.
What
would you value Sonny right now? If Sonny come up and you could sell him, what would you value him now?
Remember,
he's
30, not 31, because in Korea, the day you're born, you become 1 year old.
Yeah.
So,
no, he's 31 according to international age.
So he is actually 30, although he's down at 31.
I think he's a 100 mil player. But Ash, left wing against Newcastle on Sunday, he was devastating. Do you think that's his position now? Does he stay with Richarlison being fit? Do you want to see him on the left or do you want to see him central?
I want to see him on the left, honestly, simply because, like this year, especially with Perisic out as well, we've really struggled on that left wing. We tried Richarlison there. We tried to put Johnson there. We put Hill there. We've just put so many people there and it's just not worked out. And you know what happens is if you don't have service from the left, that sort of like stops your play from the right as well because everyone knows where you're coming from. And so that what happens then is that the striker gets no service. So even if Sonny was in the center, unless he can like magically create for himself, he's not getting the ball. So there's no point in having Sonny as striker if he's not going to get the ball. I'd rather see him on the left where he can supply the ball to someone. And I know I don't have a lot of faith in Richarlison, but hopefully he proves me wrong. I really want him to prove me wrong. He scores. I hate that celebration, but I want to see that pigeon dance again and again.
I thought you were about to talk about that. That I love. I mean, New York, it's now transcending. I saw the New York Giants player scored a touchdown and is doing it.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's Bale that started all that, and it looks like Sonny's celebration has started taking over the world.
People also forget that, like, it's not just about Sonny's skills on the field. That's amazing. My God, that's amazing. But when you sign a player like Sonny, you get a country along with it. So imagine that in terms of like marketing and PR, and not just a country. Like us in Asia, everybody supports Sonny. He's not just South Korea's Sonny. He's just Asian Sonny, like best Asian player ever.
I think he's a world Sonny, to be fair, because we've got, and at the Scotland Yard there is, when we get busy, there are so many Koreans that come and watch the games with us every single game, and enjoy that. They've always been there. I mean, obviously their love for Sonny is huge, and it's completely understandable. But David, where do you want to see him continue on the left? Because the last few games or start of the season, he didn't look right on the left, if we're honest. And then Ange put him in the centre, and then he ripped Burnley apart, and then he went on his run. Sunday was probably the best performance I've seen from him on the left in I don't know how long, and he was devastating. I was like, he's got to play central. Now I'm like, I don't know. I don't either, as long as he's in the team.
Yeah, I mean, people are probably going to hate me for this, but you've got to put it in a little bit of context. Trippier was dreadful. He was knackered. He's played consistently, and he was struggling, and Sonny took advantage of that. But you need the mindset. You need the type of player who can understand that his opponent's tired. His opponent doesn't want to go in on him, and he knows he's got the skill to pass his opponent. Nottingham Forest will be a test if Sonny plays out on the wing, because he's going to have a fit player next to him. He's going to have to constantly be on it. Do you know what I mean? And that for me is going to be the one to see if whether Sonny can work on the wing still, because like you said previously, he hasn't worked a lot. And I agree with you, Sonny has to be in the team. But yeah, I've got to wait for Nottingham Forest to make a full, you know what I mean, he's committed to the wing type of thing, because yes, he was unbelievable in Newcastle, but he was against a tired player who looked absolutely shattered. To be fair, Trippier looked dreadful, and Sonny took advantage of that. So yeah, for me, Nottingham Forest is going to be the one where I cement my idea of him staying on the wing.
Right, Ash, I'll come to you because Colin Cross put it in a comment and I can't find it. But he was, I think what his comment was spot on, that Conte,
under Conte, yeah.
he was dying under Conte. Conte was, it's happened with a few players, and Ange has given him that hunger back, that appetite. Like you said a minute ago, the smile on his face. A lot of this has got to go down to, obviously a lot goes down to Sonny and his incredible professionalism, but Ange has got to take some credit as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I will say that, there was the injury, yes. But it's also about the amount of chances you create, right? For a forward, if you're forward, you're going to just score more. It's just logical. I mean, there are people who would argue that Sonny won his golden boot in that mid-season when Conte joined, and a lot of the goals he scored were during the Conte era. Like his best season was in that era. But honestly, all of it has to come through Kane. At least most of it was coming through Kane. So it just didn't make sense to continue playing like that, because we were too dependent on two players and that connection working in every match. And so Sonny wasn't getting those goals if there was no supply. And if we're constantly in our own half sort of defending for about 70 minutes in a game, then it's not likely to happen. So I do think that stifled Sonny. And Sonny has improved on his game. He tracks back a lot more, especially after that fight he had with Lloris. You see him tracking back and helping with his defending a lot more. In fact, he was offended that FIFA gave him a 35 on defending or something like that, something really ridiculously low. So Sonny's been working at that. But in the Conte team, that meant he never went forward because he was constantly tracking back.
Yep, you're right. And Ian, question here from Mark, and David, I'm going to ask you the same as well. Will Sonny get 20 this season? He's already at 10. Obviously, he's away for a month, so January, but I think he only misses 2 Premier League games if he stays the whole time.
Probably three.
Okay, probably 3.
Is it Brighton on the 10th of November, February rather?
Yeah, you're right. So
if they reach the final, he'll miss that one. Yeah,
you got to think that South Korea, being the fantastic team they are in that tournament, are a shoe-in for the favourites. Do you see him getting 20 Premier League goals this year?
No question. I don't see why not. The amount of chances they create, he ought to. He's got 10 from 16 so far?
Yep.
If he misses 3, so that's 10 for half this. So he's got 10 to get from 19 games. I don't see that being an issue.
Yeah, what do you reckon he could get?
25.
All right, 25. There you go. David, same question to you. Will he get 20 and any advance on 25? I'll go to you after Ash with his tally for the season. Let's have an auction. Do I have any more than 25? David,
I personally, if Sonny carries on the way he goes, stays fit, and the team we get like full squad back, and we have that full squad for a good run of games, I reckon Sonny's in out for the Golden Boot. I mean, he's only a few behind. He's only a few behind Haaland. Sorry, what?
He misses, I think, 2 Premier League games. Or 3
yeah,
Premier League?
League. Could be 3.
So it could be 3 games, yeah.
So let's assume it's 3. David, you think he hits 20?
Could be 4.
Yeah.
You think he hits 20? Okay.
I think 20. I think max he'll get about. I reckon I'll go higher than 25. I reckon he'll get about 27.
Right, you're on 27. Okay, Ash, what's your tally for the season? You reckon that Sonny's hitting?
I think he gets about 23. I don't see him getting above 25 goals. I love Sonny. I think he'll score a lot of goals this season, but he's leaving for the Asia Cup. He'll come back. There'll be like a adjusting period. We have a very difficult April. Although Sonny scores against the big teams, so that's not so much of a worry for him personally. But I don't see him. I don't see him getting more than 23 goals. But the one good thing about Sonny is that when he does score, often he scores hat tricks. Like when he gets going, he really gets going. So I'm hoping that if there's any way that he wants to beat his 25 23 tally, then the way to do it is hat tricks. Come on, Sonny, Forest hat trick.
Okay, so the final one is with me, and I'm going to say I'm going to go bold with Maddison back. I'm going to say he's going to hit 30. I'm going big. I'm going bold. Listen, if I'm right, brilliant. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I can honestly, if he stays fit, I can see a 30 Premier League goal season coming. I really do.
That is, Brian, 20 from the next 18 games.
Yep.
Because he'll miss 4, because you've got, I think, Everton on the 3rd, 4th of Feb, and then you've got Brighton the week after. So
4 goals against Arsenal at home.
That'd be nice.
That would be.